Welcome back, everyone, to your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side Podcast. And as always, he's Yinka Yusuf.
Hello, people. How are we all doing?
And I'm Akinadeke. Yinka, how are you, sir?
I'm good. You?
Ecstatic. Never better. You know, I'm having the best week ever. I had the best day ever on Wednesday. You know, when the best
why are you like this?
the best Champions League match of all time broke out at the Emirates on
Why
a
are you
random
like this?
Wednesday. And all you
Why
people
are you like this?
that don't listen, all you people that don't listen, I told you. I told you so.
Aki.
When. What?
Aki, first of all,
What?
our listeners, nice to see you guys again. Our followers, nice to see you guys again.
Sure, it's
Hope you all
nice
had
to
a
see
lovely
everybody.
week. Please remember to do the needful, right? Subscribe to our channel. Tell your friends about us, right? On our drive to the next 1,000. Actually,
Okay.
that's how we typically start the show. Why are you so eager? Why are
But
you
today-
so? Anyway,
Today's a
I'll let you
today's
have it.
today's is a special. Okay, first, before I go into my rant, there will be many rants on this episode. But first,
oh
Yinka,
my God. Yes, sir.
Yinka, tragedy has befallen the Nigerian football fraternity. So
Yes.
let me calm myself and behave.
I think you
Chairman Christain Chukwu, Green Eagles captain at the 1980 Nations Cup that we won. I believe he was captain in 1978 as well. I'm not sure about 76. Has passed. He passed. We're recording on Sunday the 13th. He passed on Saturday the 12th of April at, in my opinion, the young age of 74, because I just feel like the man is indestructible. When we did Nigeria all time, Africa all time, the way we talked about him was like he was indestructible. Even when he coached, it looked like it was on the same shape as the players he was coaching. You know, if you think about when we were growing up in the 90s and we saw him as a coach, you see him in shorts or in his windbreaker or whatever, it looks like he could go toe to toe with Keshi. My tribute to him was, you know, obviously you and I never met him, but my tribute to him was he never seemed like he was bothered by whatever shine the generation after him was getting. I always appreciated that. You know, Keshi was a larger than life personality and character, and I never saw, at least outwardly, any jealousy, envy from Christain Chukwu. He let Keshi do his thing. There's room for more than one, you know, excellent, multi-talented, natural leader, excellent defender who turned into an excellent coach. And in my opinion, Christain Chukwu was an excellent coach. As a defender, was above reproach. He was athletic. He was composed. He had a cool head. He could play multiple positions. He was a natural born leader. And he was always going to be a manager. And if Nigeria had been a better run country, you know, he wouldn't have been in and out of coaching jobs at the national level. They would have given him the job, let him do his thing, you know, lead his country to glory. So, I mean, just wanted to say rest in peace. And our thoughts are with his family and the Nigerian football fraternity. And Kaisuf.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well said, Aki. Like you said, when Chukwu played, he made the Adidas boot with white stripes. You know that popular boot?
Yes.
Yeah.
The old logo. With the old
logo. Yeah. And not pulling up your O's, your football socks all the way. You know, it made it look cool. And
short shorts.
and his shots, really, really short shots. And he played with a level of swagger that you don't see these days with central defenders. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
a proper footballer.
Yeah.
And as a coach, he was a good coach also, and he was even a better gentleman. Like you said,
Mm.
he's that calm persona, the way he portrays himself, that confidence. Even when he became a coach, he was still reflecting.
Yeah.
He wasn't only confident as a player; he was also confident as a manager. Um, good Lord bless his soul, give his family the
Mm.
fortitude to bear the loss. One interesting point before we go on: Christain Chukwu won the Nations Cup for Nigeria in 1980. Yeah,
Mm.
the day he lifted the trophy was the day I was born.
You mentioned. You mentioned.
The day he lifted the trophy was the day I was born. Yeah, maybe that's why I love
You
football
thought
so much. Who knows?
you think that makes you special, Yinka?
It makes me special. Of course, it
No.
makes me special. How many people were born on the first day Nigeria will win a major trophy in its history?
Oh, I love it. I
Eh,
love it. I love it.
You're just jealous that you don't share the same birthday with me. Don't worry.
So I think the last thing I would say on this, like it's interesting. I don't recall any stories, ever reading any stories of Christain Chukwu having beef with anyone. As a player
Any
on the
negative
national
story,
team,
Aki? Any
none.
negative story? I can't remember
Uh,
hearing anything.
that's hard to do in 74 years. More than half of it's spent in the public
Public space. Yeah.
spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also doubled when he was in his heyday with the Golden Eagles. He was also captain of Enugu Rangers, arguably
Yes.
the best team in Nigeria at the time.
Yep.
Um, did they end up winning something on the continent, or did I make that up? Cup winners? Did they
No,
win the
they
Cup Winners
didn't.
Cup? No, they didn't. Okay,
I
but
don't
they
think they
played.
did.
They played in finals. They played in
Was
finals.
they played in finals? It
Yeah.
was Shooting Stars
Okay.
that won. Shooting Stars and AFC
Yeah.
are the only
Yeah.
winners from
But
Nigeria.
okay, so I thought they won the Cup Winners. I know they didn't win the Champions League, but I thought they won the Cup
Yeah.
Winners Cup. But okay, so but just doubling as captain of Enugu Rangers and captain of the Eagles. All the battles they had with shooting, and back in the day. But he had no enemies, which is really, really, really hard to do.
Really, really hard to do.
Nigeria Football Administration would humiliate you, right? If you allow them, um, they will stain your white, as we
Yes.
say.
Yes. They will.
But he never allowed that. I don't recall Christain Chukwu having any running battles with any players.
Yeah.
All the quote unquote technical advisors who were inferior to him, but
Mm-hmm.
they brought in to be his boss just because they were European. I don't recall him. He was the most loyal coach. The players coming after him, I've already mentioned Stephen Keshi, who showed nothing but respect for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
The players younger than Keshi was the same thing, nothing but
Yeah.
respect. Just an overall gentleman. I mean, even the nickname chairman.
Chairman.
That's what I call my oldest brother. And when you call someone chairman, is out of respect. In the Nigerian
Yeah.
context.
Yeah. It is.
It's a nickname that is earned because of the things they do and because of who they are. Right. So
Yeah.
again, I said that was the last thing, but we really could go on and on, right?
Yeah. We could.
Not as flashy as Stephen Keshi, but no less accomplished. No less important, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
In my opinion too. My opinion too. So rest in
so
peace, Chairman.
yeah.
So Aki, let's proceed.
Thank you. There is no way. There's no good segue to go from the saddest news to the absolute happiest news. So I'm just gonna do it. Yinka Yusuf, like I
Yes,
said,
sir.
a beatdown broke out in the northwest corner of London last Wednesday. I'm not a I told you so kind of person, but I told you also. But y'all don't listen. Y'all don't listen. I tried and I tried and I tried. I told you that Madrid may have a chance at La Liga because they were not gonna be playing in the Champions League after this round. You thought I was crazy. Yinka, without Thibaut Courtois.
You want me to respond? You want me to respond to that, or you want
I'm
me
not done.
finish?
I'm not done. Yeah,
Okay,
you haven't earned the right to respond because you were sitting on the fence. So you can sit on the fence for 2 more minutes while I speak. Sit on the fence for 2 more minutes.
It was because you paused for a minute. I thought you were expecting.
Oh, I'm
you were
not done.
asking me, or you're suggesting.
Yinka,
So
Yinka,
I'm
if you were, yes, you should. Yes, you should. Yinka, if you were a better friend to me, what you should have done that night, you should have called me and be like, let's record right now. Let's record right now because this is the greatest day of your life, my friend. But you're not a good friend. You're not a good friend. So you let me wait Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday. We're recording on Sunday night. I need better friends. I need better friends. You guys.
I actually should probably not let you record today, so that it is better you gloat after you've actually knocked out Madrid.
No, but see, that's not my nature. That's not my nature.
Sincerely hope this your gloating is not premature. I sincerely hope. Go ahead and gloat.
So
go ahead.
Okay, so I will take 2 more minutes, then I'll turn it over to you. What did I say?
Take all you want.
What did I say when the draw came out?
Yes.
I reminded everybody of 2006, the year of our Lord, 2006.
Yes.
Okay, we went. The first leg was at the Bernabeu. They had all the Galacticos. Was Zidane still there at the time?
I
think so. I think it was. Beckham was there.
I can't remember.
Beckham was there. Roberto Carlos was there. All of them were there. Right?
Zidane wasn't there yet. I don't think he was there yet.
Maybe Zidane wasn't there. I don't know. But Roberto Carlos was there. Okay. Beckham was there. Raul was there.
R9 was there.
R9, the original Ronaldo. The only Ronaldo we recognize on this show.
Yep.
Right? Was there. 1-0. They didn't score a goal. And then a week later, they came to London, and it was a war of attrition. War of attrition, goalless draw. Arsenal proceeds to. That was the quarterfinals too. It was the quarterfinals too, because Arsenal now plays Villarreal. Villarreal in the semifinals.
The semis, then Barca in the finals. Yeah.
Okay, that didn't end well. So what I said was, remember 2006, right? And I understand Gabriel, blah blah blah. No Gabriel. I don't remember the last time Arsenal conceded 4 goals, 3 goals, and they hardly concede 2. Right? And I blame everyone, including even Arsenal fans. Even Arsenal fans don't know how good their team is. You know what I mean? Now, the team is not complete. Their story is not written, right? But the goal is not perfection. The goal is to put in the work and show up every day. This is what I tell my kids. Yinka, you're responsible for your effort, not the result. I don't care about the result. I care that you make me proud every day by showing up, put in the best effort you can put in with your God-given ability. When I watch my daughter play, I'm not looking for her to necessarily, outplay or outrun our own abilities, but I know what you can do. Do the best you can. The one thing about Arsenal, they do not leave anything on. They don't leave anything on the field. They put everything out there. And that's because of Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta is not Xavi, is not Iniesta. When he played, even though he wasn't blessed with great health or great speed, he got everything out of his body. Okay? And this is why it takes him forever to sign a player. because he's a serious man. Look, I'm not the hugest fan of Arteta, but I respect as a coach, as a player, I loved him to death. Right? As a coach, it took a while to warm up to him, but I've always supported him. I've not always loved him as much as I love him as a player. But nobody works harder than this dude. Right? Nobody works harder than this dude. You know, he will make mistakes. And I can say the same about Amorim, okay, which we'll get to Man U. This is what I love about coaches. Take this thing as seriously as your players take it. You know, like Pep can fail, but Pep will not fail for a lack of trying, right? Pep can be stubborn, but Pep will not fail for a lack of trying. And I told you guys, you give Arteta the international break, it will cook something up. And this is not some stupid social media Arteta is cooking nonsense. This is the man will find solutions to problems you present to him, Yinka. Because it doesn't just go home to count his money. It does this stuff for real. Right? And I'm wondering at these idiots on ESPN said we were going to get beat 4-0. When was the last time do you watch the game? When was the last time anyone scored 4-0 against Arsenal or 4 goals against Arsenal? Arsenal doesn't even play 4-4. The only team that scored 7 goals in the previous round was Arsenal. When we were going to PSV, they predicted we might lose. We go there and we 7-1? And it's like, oh yeah, we thought that was going to happen. No, you said we were going to lose, Inka. Not you. ESPN said we were going to lose. And then we come back home and it's a draw, right? But De Jong looked like he was going to go home and kill somebody's dog on that day. They said he was a better striker than anybody Arsenal had. We scored 7 goals in your house. And it was like crickets. Like, nothing to see here. We thought that was going to happen. No, you did not. No, you did not. Arsenal has lost once in the Champions League. It was a dubious penalty. Dubious penalty. You know, so it's Liverpool, Barcelona, Arsenal. Dubious penalty. But they're going to be dropped 4-0 by Real. Which Real? The same one that lost to Valencia? Valencia that made me eat crow because I thought they would be in the top 4. And they were in relegation for more than half of the season. Now they're like 13th. I'm like, what am I missing? What am I missing? Is Ancelotti doing any work on the training pitch? And don't get me wrong, Real could have scored 3 goals in London because they are that good. They're more athletic than Arsenal. They're more naturally gifted than Arsenal. They could have scored 3. But without Courtois, Yinka, Arsenal had 12 shots, 11 on goal. 11 on goal. And they scored 3 times. That means this guy had 8 saves. Now, some of them were like in the same sequence. So it wasn't like Arsenal were going to score 8 goals. Some of it was like 3. There was a time it was 3 in a row. There was a time it was 2 in a row. So that would have been 1 goal action. You don't get 2 goals for that. But the point is, it wasn't bad marksmanship. It was amazing goalkeeping. You could argue the man of the match was Courtois. Even though Partey bossed the midfield, even though, Rice scored 2 crazy goals, even though Saka, had some crazy chances, you could argue the best player on the pitch was Thibaut Courtois. So yes, they could have scored 3 times, but Arsenal could have scored 6. So, Yinka, I rest my case. I couldn't have been happier. I screamed at my TV at the second goal, but I was never shocked. None of it shocked me. As great as the goals were, it was never in doubt for me. Maybe I'm crazy. Go for it, Yinka.
Okay, so point of correction, you were right. Zidane was in 2006.
Oh, yeah, Zidane was on that team. Yeah,
Zidane was on that team. So it was R9, Zidane, Robinho, Guti, Beckham, and Raul, and the rest of them. Yeah.
Roberto Carlos.
Roberto Carlos too was there. Casillas was
goalkeeper. Goalkeeper, Yinka.
Was Casillas.
Casillas.
Yeah. It was Casillas.
And Yinka, Arsenal's back line was, Senderos and Toure.
Senderos, Toure, Eboyi, and Matthew Flamini. Flamini played left back.
Yeah.
Flamini played left back. I have the whole lineup here. Actually, I had to bring it up just to so that we don't give our listeners the wrong info. So that's it.
Okay.
I'm happy. Yeah. So I watched that game with my nephew that really that's really mad at Real Madrid and Ancelotti. Yeah. I watched the game at his place. So I carried my boys, in fact the whole family, we watched the game with them. I was happy. Let me first caveat this whole premise with that. Yeah. See guys, I'm wearing an Arsenal jersey. I was happy, right?
Oh my gosh.
But to be honest, there were so many pivotal situations in that game that game could have swung in any direction. Any direction. First things first. Mbappe had a couple of one-on-ones, right?
Yeah.
Before Arsenal had their chances that if he had buried any of those, we might not be saying what we're saying. Let's be fair. And I think that kind of negates Courtois' brilliance, because Courtois had he had some saves. And not only Courtois, there's so many goal line clearances, one by Alaba,
Bellingham,
and the other one by
Bellingham, Alaba. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry, Yinka, that's the thing. You count the saves, but there was also the goal line clearances where the goalkeeper would not have gotten to.
The goal line clearances. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my position on this is very simple. I'm happy with the 3-0 scoreline. I'm ecstatic about it, right? But to some extent, I think, it kind of flattered Arsenal a bit. And let me explain. Yeah.
Okay.
The chances that Courtois saved, like 3 or 4 out of them were poor finishes by Arsenal. Same thing with what's his name? Mbappe's own with Raya. He wanted to do the Maradona, look this way, put the ball this way. It didn't work, right? Vinny Jr. also had some crazy where he should have laid the ball off earlier and decided to just keep running. That would have been an Mbappe one-on-one. This was before Arsenal scored a goal at all. Yeah? So go back to my first point. Things could have changed in that game. Things could have changed if Real Madrid scored first. Yeah? That's number one. Number two, Akin, all this your gloating that you're doing, you need to create a small altar. A small altar for Declan Rice, right? In that corner in your basement, right? Where you worship Declan Rice. Yeah? Because I'm just saying that jokingly, but you get my point. Those 2 free kicks, when I saw the first one, and the first one entered, I was like, wow. When they showed the replay, the bend of that ball is like a reverse Roberto Carlos. The ball went way out of goal, then curved back into the goal, right? If you had 2 Thibaut Courtois in the post for that first one, he ain't catching it. It's not going to get to it.
Won't matter.
Now,
yep.
That's when Rice free kicks turned into London buses that you wait for one forever and 2 come at the same time. Because he scored that second one, Akin. My son said, imagine if he puts it in the top bins again. I was like, forget it. It's not going to happen. And you won't believe it. That is the sweetest, the sweetest, I don't know what the perfect English is. Permit me if this English is wrong. The sweetestly hit free kick in a long time. There is no better place he could have put the ball. There is no better pace that ball could have traveled at. Yeah? It was perfection. Put 5 Thibaut Courtois in goal. He is not saving that. So those 2 goals, for me, were blessings from the heavens above, right?
The football gods.
From the football gods. Because without those 2 free kicks, Akin, the game is just 1-0. The game is just 1-0.
All goalless.
All goalless. Right? So for me, once again, I'm happy. Extremely happy. To some extent, I believe for the first time in a long time, the football god said, you know what, you guys have suffered enough. Let me give you this day. Yeah? Because those 2 free kicks, Akin, we will never, or let me say we'll never, but I'm almost certain we will almost never see anything like that again from Declan Rice.
Because you know what?
Something like that again.
You know what? We never saw the Roberto Carlos one again. The one against France.
Again.
We never saw it again.
Yeah.
So you can say we'll never.
So I'm like, this was just delivered to us on the platter of gold by the football gods. I'm happy about that. Now let me flip to Real Madrid. Yeah?
Okay.
Because the question is, did Arsenal win it or did Madrid lose it? So for me, I think it's a bit of both. Like you said, Arteta played probably the best football Arsenal has played this season. All through this season. Everybody was on point. Even Merino, that is usually the striker, was playing like a false 9. He was dropping into midfield and moving out with the midfield, and then he'll be the farthest forward. And that's how he scored.
Got the goal.
Yeah. That's how he got the goal. So, perfection from Arsenal, right? Arteta did his own work, and the team delivered. Flip to Madrid. Ancelotti should be flogged for multiple reasons. Now, this is the pundit in me. As if Arsenal fan, I'm happy he did what he did. I hope he's not listening to this so that he doesn't capitalize on it the next game. Why on earth are you playing Arsenal and you start Luka Modric? And you start him as a deep line playmaker against Arsenal? Why? Please tell me.
So, he played a double pivot with Camavinga and Luka Modric, right? The player with the most experience playing against Arsenal on that team is Luka Modric from his Spurs days, right? They also expected, Odegaard has been what we call in Nigeria a short one since he got back from his injury, meaning he might as well not be there. He runs around a lot, work done is 0. Partey cannot run, right? You got to give Partey time for him to be effective now at this stage in his career. So they thought they could use the craft and athletic ability of Camavinga and the guile and brain of Modric and experience, and they could overrun, the midfield, right? That's what they thought. And they came out in their 4-4-2, but their 4-4-2 only works if Rodrigo takes the midfielder part of the 4-4-2 seriously, right? And who was the guy on the left? If Bellingham takes the midfielder part of it seriously. If Bellingham ends up doing the Stevie G thing, where he's everywhere except where he's supposed to be, the 4-4-2 breaks down, right? So what you saw, though, was Mbappe and Vinny Jr. were both forwards and wingers at the same time. And you're telling them to pounce. You have this multi-talented team, and you tell them to go to London against a team that is not experienced in the Champions League, and you tell them to play on the counter. Why is Real Madrid? Because when I look at, we talked about this last week, when I look at Barcelona, I'm like, Barcelona may have more young, talented kids. Barcelona does not have more established stars. So, in my opinion, they should not look better than Real Madrid. That is a coaching miss, in my opinion. They have people that can play the ball at Real Madrid. If they're not playing the ball, that's on the coach.
So, Akin, what you said now is it's contradicting each other.
Tell me.
If you're going to play on the counter, you need people in that midfield to break up play, then you can spring the counter. Which play is Luka Modric going to break up, please?
Okay, to be clear, I'm saying they should not have been set up to play on the counter. That's my real point.
We're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing. So if you they set up to play on the counter. See, and this might be Ancelotti respecting Arsenal to say this guy.
What is there to respect? Arsenal doesn't score goals.
Hold on. But let me tell you, this is the template that has worked for almost all the losses or games that Arsenal has suffered this season. Is the teams come in to say low block, break up play, let these guys counter. That's how West Ham beat us. So I'm not really. I'm not really mad at that. You are right that a Real Madrid should not be coming to play counter. But he thought, that's the template that worked, we're going to play that. But yet, you have tools at your disposal that you can use to play that better. Why isn't Fede Valverde starting in central midfield with Camavinga?
Played him at right back.
Played him at right back. So, point number one. Point number two, Akin, who is Arsenal's weakest link in that lineup? Or who was
Kivia.
on Friday?
Jacob Kivia. Yeah.
So why on earth is Kylian Mbappe turning into Saliba's girlfriend throughout the game? No, Akin, this is just common sense. What I would expect Ancelotti to say, that guy is jittery. That guy is not. He didn't expect to play this game. Go leave Saliba. Don't drift to the left. Stick with this guy. Make him uncomfortable.
A couple things, Yinka. So number one, Vinny Jr. was completely ineffective. Gilbert tried to bury me when I mentioned Urian Timber. And I said I would take Urian Timber against any right back in the world defensively. Any day.
It's probably the best right back in football today.
And that's the
I'm
thing.
Not saying this as an Arsenal
fan. And to be honest, and this is why, look, Arteta lies all the time, like every other coach does. Yeah. Arteta is very insightful when he's not lying. When they asked him about Urian Timber, it's like, you guys are saying things we did not know he had. As in, when I went to buy this guy, I did not know this about him. Like, excuse me, Mr. Urian Timber, I was not familiar with your game. Anyone that says they knew what they were getting, no, they're lying, Yinka. That's the one. I'm like, oh, Arteta just told the truth. Because there's no way. I mean, this is the guy that is playing with that injury. I mean, it falls down every game because it's still recovering. This guy, okay, it may not have the most refined going forward game, even though it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all, right? It's definitely better than Ben White for not having played in the system for 3 years like Ben White. It's more natural. Yeah. But defense, bro, Vinny was struggling. And that's why your boy, Vinny was struggling. Rodrigo was struggling to defend, which is why your boy was like, am I a central striker? Do I have a partner right next to me? Where do I go? You know what I mean? So which is why he finds himself on the left. He finds himself on the left again. And Saliba is just like, thank you. I'll take this.
So they just gave Kivio a vacation, 90 minutes vacation on the most jittery night of his life.
I told you it was the man of the match. I told you it was the man of the match against Everton. I told you this.
Hakim, there is no way, right? Mbappe on Kivio is an accident waiting to happen. Not because Kivio is not a good defender. It's because Kivio is not fast. He does not have pace.
Kivio is not a good defender.
No. And see, I'll say this. If you're a Polish international, you're good enough. You were a Polish international before you came to Arsenal, right?
That's true.
I'm not gonna shit. That's true. I'm not gonna, bid on him. He's a good defender. He's a good defender. What he lacks is pace, right? His passing is elite. Short passing, long passing. He can really control the ball. His kryptonite is pace.
Speed. Yeah.
He's not fast at all. His acceleration is poor, his top speed is poor, he does not have pace. Mbappe would have given him a headache. But am I happy that Ancelotti did all of this? I'm ecstatic. Now, here is the final point from me.
Okay.
Please. I always say this thing. There is always a first time. My son was saying, I told him, okay, so he came in this morning, the eldest. He came in this morning, I was like, that he saw something on the internet where somebody did some mock-up video and they said, injury time and Mbappe scores the 4th goal for Real Madrid and Arsenal is out. Hold on. And he's like, Dad, if that happens, I will just leave. I will not show up in school. I will not open my socials for a long time because I have already mocked the life out of people. And I'm like, son, lesson number 1. When you're digging a grave for people, don't dig it too deep just in case you fall into it. So, that's me. I'm not gloating yet.
Oh
right?
no. Oh no.
I'm not gloating yet. There is a second leg to play. And this is Real Madrid that we're talking about, right? All it takes is a 10th-minute red card for a ridiculous foul on somebody, and Arsenal is down to 10, and what has never happened before can then happen. So, if I believe the tie is over, no, I want to believe the tie is over, but I'm extremely cautious, right? I know Arsenal has not conceded more than 2 goals this season. I get all of that, right? But there's always a first time. I will not say anything or gloat until Wednesday evening. Yeah?
Okay.
And even at that, I'll be cautious. You know why? Because we haven't won anything.
I understand all that.
There's no trophy for beating Real Madrid.
I understand all that.
So there's really nothing to gloat about. Yeah?
You
so that's the only answer I will give you.
You sound like a prototypical and typical bedwetting Arsenal fan. And I'm not liking you very much right now. Right? You all have taken the joy out of watching the game. Right? Your coach.
Yeah, I enjoyed the game. It's the gloating afterwards I don't like. That I'm against.
Why are you watching the game if you can't gloat? Why are you watching if you can't gloat?
No, I'm not here for banter. I'm here to analyze, watch the game, enjoy the football, right? No.
I'm here for banter.
I'm beyond.
I'm beyond banter. You know what? I'm here for all the smoke, all of them. All of them, their moms and dads and girlfriends, they can all bring it. Okay, I'm here for all of it. Because you know why? Yinka,
why?
We have been through, we've done the work. Okay, we've done the work. We've been through the doldrums, Yinka. I sat through 17-3. What was 17-3, Yinka? There was one season.
Bayern.
Okay, no. I'm not even talking about Bayern. Domestic against City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. We lost a combined 17-3 in one season. And they were paying our players to show up. It wasn't like they put replacement players up, And the 3, if memory serves, maybe it was 17-5, I can't remember. The 3 we scored in one game, 6-3 against Man City. So maybe it was 17-5, And I've talked about Wenger's 1000th game before. We lost 6-0 to Chelsea on his 1000th game. And the man did not resign at halftime. It did not resign at full time. It's players this is the club I supported, Yinka. I've been through that. And now I have a coach that sits down and says, what do I need for this game? And let's be honest, Yinka, I was asking my wife today, and we'll talk about my wife and her family, a Liverpool supporting family, when we get to the EPL. I have something for them as well. Yinka, if they put the current squad, I don't care who they buy in the summer. Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea and Arsenal freeze their squad today, injured and healthy, and say take a squad of 25 into next season. Yinka, don't blink. Tell me who you're taking. I'm taking City. Who are you taking?
Squad of 25 into next season.
Yes, you cannot buy anybody else.
I'm taking City too.
I'm like, I don't care what happened to City this season. It's not even close.
I'm taking City too.
And I don't care who coaches them. You're not choosing a coach, you're choosing the players. I don't care who fought with their wife or girlfriend or whatever. So I'm like, good for Liverpool, right? They are this season's 2015-2016 Leicester, right? Other people didn't show up. They won the league.
Maybe not.
Yeah, more talented. No, more talented. Yinka, we can't have it both ways. It can't be that I felt sorry for them when they were coming third last season because of all the injuries. And then this season, injuries don't matter. I won't play that.
I totally agree with you.
Okay, we're not going to do that.
To support your point, Aki, they were top in January, right? It was the injuries that made them fade away to third, right? So if they had a full strength, if they were at full strength last season, it might have been a 3-horse race to the end.
Yeah, it should have been. It should have been. So
everybody's saying Liverpool was out of it. This was Arsenal's time to win. That's just nonsense. But go ahead.
But Yinka, I was accused today by my wife, and I've been accused many times by her brother, and I've been accused by my wife's daughter, aka also my daughter. And they all, like the two women in this equation refuse to watch the highlights of Arsenal Real Madrid because they're haters. On Wednesday, they refuse to watch. And then they claim that only you are objective about Liverpool and that I did not give them their flowers. So I'm saying now, yes, you people are going to win the league. Whoopty freaking do. Congratulations, you're Leicester. Congratulations, you're Leicester. But again, I try to be fair. I don't blame Klopp. Klopp scored 97 or 99 points and came second. That is not about Klopp. That is about City's financial doping. You know what I mean? I don't know how many points Liverpool are going to finish with, but it's not going to approach 95 or 99 or 97. So again, you're going to win the league. Congratulations, right? I think City had the best squad. I chose Arsenal to win in spite of City's better squad, right?
Yeah.
It did not happen. You guys are going to win, right? You're not a great team. You don't have to take my word for it. You're not a great team, right? But you would have played the best ball from beginning to the end this season, and you would have deserved it. And ultimately, what is the league? It's a relative test.
Yep.
Over 38 games, who was the best? It's not an absolute test. It's not an all-time test. Leicester got relegated after 2 seasons after they won.
Yep.
And they're gonna win with 10 points. They won with 10 points. Liverpool might win with 10 points as well. So again, congratulations. You're the Leicester of 2025. You know what I mean? 9 seasons later, you're the Leicester. Congratulations. Take your flowers. Yinka,
yes, sir.
What's your prediction? Well, no, hold on. What's your prediction for Wednesday?
Okay, that was going to be my question.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's going to be a draw. And I sincerely, that's what I think is going to happen. Somebody said Arteta will go there and play haram football. And I'm like, I don't really.
What does that mean? What does that even mean? Like you'll park the bus? Like you'll park the bus?
Exactly. That you'll pack the train, pack everything. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't really think so. The only concern for me, and I'll be honest with you, Arsenal are down to their bare bones. We don't have right now. Arsenal does not have a backup centre back. The backup centre back is playing right back. It's Timber.
Yeah.
Right. Then the backup right back is playing centre midfield, which is
they have Rice. Yeah. Rice can play centre back.
But you
don't want that to happen.
He has not. I don't mind, but he hasn't played that this season.
No, I'm saying we don't want that to happen. Yeah.
We don't want that to happen. That's my worry. That's my concern, right? And number 2 concern, it is Real Madrid. It is Florentino Perez. It is European football. I'm just hoping it's a fair game because something tells me something ridiculous might just happen. And Arsenal will need to play against the elements, right, to survive whatever is coming their way at Madrid.
So there's a couple things that happen after that third goal, right? Because I think Arsenal scored 3 goals in 17 minutes. Yeah. After that third goal, Real Madrid had plenty of time to pull one back. They never looked like doing it. Like, just being honest, they never looked like doing it, right?
Yeah.
They were shell-shocked. And here's the thing. I keep going back to ESPN, but the ESPN pundits, if we had won 1-0, they would have been ashamed because they didn't even give us a chance for 1-0. They didn't even give us a chance for a goalless draw, Yinka. They didn't even say, "Oh, we can keep it."
Nobody
They
gave us
didn't
a
give
chance.
us nothing.
Nobody gave us a chance. Nobody.
And again, it was like PSV versus Arsenal did not happen. That's what pissed me off the most. It was like you go to another big European team in the round of 16 and you put 7 past them in their own house. And it's crickets. I've never seen such disrespect in my football watching life. This is not like Ludo Goretz. Ludo Goretz found their way into the knockout stage, Yinka. This is former European champions, PSV.
Ludo Goretz. Don't disrespect Ludo Goretz. They're the Bulgarian champion. What do you mean?
But Yinka, this is former European champions, PSV. Yinka, come on. You put 7 past them. Are you crazy? Okay, so my prediction is Arsenal will win the game on Wednesday, and we'll move forward. Now that doesn't mean that Arsenal automatically will beat PSG because they beat PSG before. No, this is a different PSG team.
It's a different game.
And it doesn't even mean
different ball game altogether.
It doesn't mean PSG will get past Villa.
So, Akin, perfect segue to the PSG Villa game. Unai Emery did some funny stuff that kind of surprised me. The lineup, in my opinion, was kind of funny. Started Rashford up front, Morgan Rogers on the right. He played like a 4-1-4-1, 4-4-1-1 rather. Yeah, which he had not seen him play. I'd not seen him play all through the season. So, what do you think? Did he overthink his tactics against PSG and Luis Enrique, or was this just a blip and will they do something good in the return leg?
So I know people thought this was gonna be a walkover, but I respect the heck out of Unai Emery. Again, it comes down to work. I respect coaches who work, not necessarily saying that you need to overthink everything, which he does. But Yinka, this man, I think he was spooked by the energy that PSG displayed against Liverpool. Maybe not the end product.
I see.
Maybe not the end product, but the energy. Yinka, they ran for 180 minutes nonstop.
Yeah.
They ran for 180 minutes nonstop. Kvaratskhelia, I mean, it was wasteful against Liverpool, but his feet never stopped moving. Dembele, it was just like boom, 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 boom. Vitinha, as you talked about already. I mean, the stuff they did, it was like they were on steroids. So I think he was worried about getting overrun. Now, they were lucky they got their goal. You know what I mean? And then it kind of fell off a little bit. So I think it was overthinking it a little bit. I personally would have maybe played Asensio instead of Rashford.
He played McGinn as the attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
And he played Ramsey as the left winger. And on the bench, I'm just checking this out. Akin, on the bench, he had better players. He played Kamara and Tielemans in center midfield, right?
I know.
Where you had people on the bench. You had what's his name? Asensio, you had Onana, you had Watkins.
Yeah.
I was surprised with the lineup, Akin. And Akin, mind you, one last point.
Yeah.
PSG's back four, or no, not back four, the centre back pairing were 2 young boys. It was Pacho and Beraldo. So I'm like, this is, I don't know. I think he lost that game with his tactic. That's my opinion. I might be wrong, but that's what I think.
Was it 3-1 or 2-1? Remind me.
It was 3-1.
It was 3-1. Okay. Yeah.
It was 3-1.
Yeah. I think if it had ended 2-1, there would have been some hope. So now they got to come out. They're going. Where was the first game?
It was in Paris.
Okay, so now they're going home, and now they have to come out and attack.
They have to come out and attack, right? They have to. And this is where PSG is a lot more dangerous. They are much more dangerous on the counter, right, than even the way they play. They're way more dangerous on the counter
than Real Madrid. See, they don't have to be set up to counter. That is in their DNA. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That is in their DNA. It's not in this other player's DNA. Like their midfield is set up for it. Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, they can do everything. They can counter, they can do the tiki-taka, they can do everything. You know?
Before we move on, Kvaratskelia's goal, see that
it's ridiculous. The drag. It was the goal that his performance against Liverpool deserved.
Oh God! You know,
and then he finally got
it. That ball roll is the kind of ball roll you do, and you are watching. You're like, ouch!
I did that. No, I did that.
That's exactly what I did. That's what we all did. Myself and my kids. You're like, ouch! That was
like you felt it in your bone. You know, you felt it in your bone. Okay.
Stud roll was
crazy.
Anyway, moving on.
Dembele didn't have a great game. He didn't have his usual, but he had a good game, and of course, it was more like a decoy, if that makes sense. Okay. Can Bayern salvage the current situation with Inter? Which, remember, I said Inter are very dangerous.
So going back to our predictions, you said Bayern was going to win. I am not here to tell you I told you so. I'm not going to do that.
No. You can hold on. Remember last week I was asking, I'm like, I thought Inter may be remember I said Inter may be the best team in the league. If you had push comes to shove, Bayern, yeah.
I don't see Bayern beating Inter. Because Bayern
in Milan, no.
And even at home, because we're the game, I told you, I said it. Bayern, they are an indisciplined team. Yeah, unfortunately, they are. And Inter are the kind of team that, men, they are machines.
Yeah,
especially that backline. Now, the second leg, something tells me Bayern will come out all guns blazing. Yeah,
they have to.
But I don't see them beating Inter. I'm sorry, I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll come next week and say I'm sorry. Blah blah blah. But I don't think.
So this is so when we did the episode with Gilbert, I said this would be the tightest. This is the hardest to predict. I said Inter might be the most. I didn't say the best. I think I said the most complete team left in the in the tournament. What Bayern have going for them that no one else has is Harry Kane, and he should have scored that goal. You know the goal I'm talking about. No, the goal I'm talking about. He should have scored that goal.
You should have.
You only get one chance at this level. He turned into Higuain in the 2014 World Cup. You cannot miss. You cannot miss that, Yinka. You can't miss that. You gotta score that goal.
And Akin, before we move on, quick point on Bayern, right? I think what's his name? Vincent Kompany also deserves some blame, right? I look and the lineup is suspect. You cannot start Eric Dyer as your centre back against a Marcus Thuram and Lautaro Martinez, right? Eric Dyer's strong point, if he has any, or rather his weak point is he's not strong. He's a weak centre back, right? He's a ball playing, not too strong centre back. You're playing him against the Thuram, right? So Goretzka didn't have the best of seasons. I wonder why Goretzka started that game, right? You're playing a Guerrero who hasn't had a decent season also. So I don't know what Gymnastic is doing. You're almost guaranteed to win the Bundesliga. Why are you chopping and changing your squad again? What is he doing? What is Kompany doing?
I think he didn't respect Inter enough. Anyinka, frankly, no one's talking about this. But I think bringing back the 4-4-2, right? So we've now talked about 2 teams out of 8 that deployed 4-4-2-ish, But one of them did it with 2 actual forwards. actual forwards, not forward winger like Real Madrid. Like Inter's forwards, each of them can lead the line. Thuram can lead the line. Lautaro Martinez can lead the line. Now, technically, each of those forwards is better as a supporting, striker in a big little combination. But did you see that? Did you see that assist and goal, Yinka? Did you see that assist and goal? It's insane.
Insane.
You got this was Yekini Amokachi Yekini that we grew up on. So I, for one, I'm excited because Yinka, like I always tell people, I zig when others are zagging. So if everybody's playing 4-3-3, I'm going to 4-4-2. That's what I watched growing up. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, if Carlo Ancelotti would do his job, you would tell Rodrigo, I'm gonna make you famous. More famous than you've been, more famous than you thought you could ever be. Because you'll be the most defending white man in all of Europe, and you'll be able to join the attack. Like, it's just not innovative enough to do it. You know what I mean?
But I can quick correction. Inter, you're right, they played with 2 forwards, but they played 3-5-2. So the way the 5 is when they are attacking, it becomes 3-5-2. If they are defending, it becomes 5-3-2.
Italian.
And that's how they play. Crazy guys. Let's move on.
It's insane. Okay.
It's insane.
So I think we've come. So let's talk about Barcelona, Dortmund, the most predictable
before
leg.
Enro takes your head.
Oh yeah, I know. We're not gonna talk much about it because the thing we thought was going to happen happened. Yeah, I think this one's over. Can we all agree it's over? 4-0. 4-0 is over.
It's more than over. Do you think Barca are the favorites now?
Oh yeah. So honestly, I thought they were the favorites before the first legs started. I thought. I mean, not because I thought they had there's no easy path, but their coach, players on form, players coming back from injury. Extremely talented midfielders coming back from injury who haven't played much this season. There's only one team has Lewandowski. And he hasn't even played to his best. Imagine if he hit just a little bit of the form that we know he's capable of. I haven't even mentioned Lamine Yamal.
He's the top scorer in La Liga this season, by the way.
I know, but it's almost like he just wakes up in the morning, washes his face, and goes and scores. He's not doing anything.
It's easy.
Yeah. He's not doing anything. No, he's not doing anything spectacular.
Yeah.
So imagine if he goes on a short run of form. And all he has to do is go on a short run of form for like a month.
Yeah.
Barcelona will be unstoppable. If De Jong stays healthy, if Kubaresi, continues to develop, bro, I think they have the best squad. I think.
Yeah. So the thing is this: the only team that can be a kryptonite for Barca is Inter, and that's who they're facing.
Yeah, it will be like the old.
It will be mud football. They will turn it into a pig fight.
Yeah.
That is what Inter will do, right?
Yeah,
and that's gonna be dangerous for Barca. If Barca had played, or if Barca were to play like an Arsenal or a PSG, it's you understand? They have a better chance of but they are playing the team that Inter are difficult to play. I'm sorry.
That's a good point.
They are difficult.
But
so that's
Inter has to get past Real Bayern first. Remember that.
Inter has
to get back
Fingers
Bayern.
Crossed.
All right.
Fingers crossed.
Okay,
Let's
so amazing first leg. Can't wait for the second. Congratulations to the best team in Europe. The Kings of North London. Amazing day. Amazing everything. Best day of my life, bar none. Right? Amazing. I love when I'm right.
When you're right about Arsenal.
I love when I'm right. Okay. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. All right, Yinka, let's go through what's happening in the top 5 European leagues. Again, like last week, we already mentioned France has been won, so we're not talking about France.
So winners. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go to one of the more kind of competitive ones, Bundesliga. Unfortunately, so Leverkusen played first. They had a goalless draw. I believe it was Union Berlin, and then so they didn't.
Think so.
I think it was Union Berlin, and then the big fixture of the weekend, shortly thereafter was Dortmund and Bayern Munich. Obviously, both of them have a game to play, a second leg to play in the Champions League. 2-2 draw. So we're exactly where we are last week, except we have Leverkusen have one fewer match to catch up on Bayern.
Yeah.
Can we call it? Do you want to call it? Is he over?
I think it's over.
Okay, so five more matches, and Leverkusen need Bayern to drop points in 3.
And in 4, if you factor the goal difference, because that's an extra point.
Yeah.
It's an extra point.
Because it's 6 points. 6 points. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. SerieA is tight. It's still tight. SerieA. We talked about it at length last week. I believe because Inter have played the game more now. They've played 32. They're 6 points ahead.
Inter played earlier on today. Yeah.
They play. Yeah. Napoli don't play until tomorrow, right?
They don't play Monday? Until tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Until
so if Napoli win, it comes back to 3 points. So it would be exactly where we were last week. For now, Inter, you'd rather have the points than the game in hand, right?
I'm telling you, you'd rather have the points than the game in hand. Bet in the hand is what's in the bush. That's what they say.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So okay. So it's for now, it's still in the balance. Yeah.
And if Inter progress in the Champions League, they have more games that they will have to, because the game they played earlier on today, they had to tweak the team. But they have a big squad with above average players. Very,
They have
so for
many
example,
forwards.
Marcus Thuram didn't play today. I think he came on in the second half. So it was Lautaro Martinez and Arnautovic. Remember Arnautovic?
I do. The pound star Ibrahimovic.
Exactly. So he played and he scored today.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I don't know. And also, same thing. The goal difference is also a factor, right? So they actually need Inter to drop 2 games, not one.
Not just one.
They need them to lose one and draw one at the minimum. Yeah.
And Inter only have 6 to go. Napoli have 7.
Inter have 6 to go. Napoli have 7. Yeah.
Okay, in La Liga, Barcelona won, I think, against Leganes, 1-0, and Real won, also 1-0. Yeah. I forget who they played. There were 2 red cards.
Alaves.
And Mbappe got sent off. He's apologized for his bad tackle. Ancelotti himself was suspended, accumulation of yellow cards. His son was on the bench. His son said, he's not that kind of guy. Mbappe is not that kind of guy. It was a mistake. But, the usual thing. I think our analysis remains the same as last week. I think this is Barcelona's to lose. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's Barcelona's to lose.
Okay. I think our analysis would only change after the El Clasico. If anything happens on the El Clasico, then we might be like,
that part.
But that Barca Leganes game, I think that was it looked a shadow of Barca. I don't know why. That game was crappy. That game they scored was an own goal that Leganes scored. And the highlight of that game, if you see the highlights, was a tackle by Inigo Martinez. There was a goal scoring opportunity. That's one of the best defensive tackles I've seen in a while. We don't see people tackle like that anymore. Yeah, but it was a crappy game. In fact, the Alaves Madrid today too was a very crappy game. It's like both teams had their minds on Wednesday, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yinka, it's really hard. James McNicholas, and this is a segue to the EPL. James McNicholas, who is a Gunner blog, does this post-game thing on YouTube, and he was like, after Arsenal's 1-1 draw at the Emirates to Brentford yesterday, it was like there is no danger of anyone, while he was talking outside the stadium, running to hug him after this game, compared to on Wednesday, where random people were running to him and hugging him, and saying his catchphrase, "Let's do this," all of that. It was like, it was just so subdued. Like, he came back at halftime. He came back from, back to his seat at halftime, and it was like, there were empty seats. People were chatting with their mates. They were getting food. Yeah, they were getting food. Meanwhile, on Tuesday against Real Madrid, the place was packed. 15 minutes before, it was loud the whole time. So yeah,
it's what's left of Arsenal season.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that's it. Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. But let's stay in the EPL. Congratulations to Liverpool. They had a blip. They almost had a blip today. Van Dijk, hit the ball against Robertson and considered an equalizer, own goal.
Yeah.
Equalizer against West Ham.
3 minutes later,
he heads the ball into West Ham's net.
And they won.
Kudus had a few chances. West Ham didn't look the worst, but Liverpool deserved when they went up 1-0. They deserved when they went up 2-1. That was a powerful header by Van Dijk. It was unbelievable.
Kudos to them. They're the fittest team this season, so they deserve the trophy. I said that before. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They are the fittest team. So thumbs up to them. I'm happy for them. But we need to talk about the chasing pack.
Hold on. 1 second. Let me say, so one thing about the game. Yinka, Mo Salah continues to amaze. Right? I don't remember the name of the left back for West Ham, but he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player.
Was it Cresswell that played?
It may have been Cresswell. He's not a bad player, Yinka. Mo Salah made him look very slow, and is not very slow. Mo Salah is a 32-year-old, not very athletic player who makes grown men look like they just got out of bed. Yinka, by the time Mo Salah got into the box, the left back was 10 yards behind him because Mo Salah spun him at the byline. This doesn't make sense, Yinka. You're not supposed to be doing this at 32. This dude is unbelievable. I don't know about any, Ballon d'Or, no Ballon d'Or, but he's had a historic season, Yinka. He's had a historic season. The debate is ridiculous because, in my opinion, Rafinha has not been better than Mo Salah. It's not even close. I'm sorry.
If Barca win the league and they go further in the Champions League, or they're already further than Liverpool, and if they get to the final, they're gonna give.
But my thing is, it shouldn't matter.
So that's why I tell you, Ballon d'Or is crap. I keep saying this. Y'all don't listen to me. It's complete crap, right? I don't know why people. The criteria keeps changing from year to year, but the Rafinha campaign has already started, and you can see it ripe on ESPN. Yeah.
They did it for Vinny as well. Remember, they did it for Vinny as well.
We know this stuff. The campaign has started already. But anyway, let's
for me,
let's talk about the chasing pack.
No, we will. Wait now, Yinka. Wait. I don't have a vote. But if I had a vote, the most impressive player in world football this season is Mo Salah. And for people to say, oh, they didn't win the Champions League, it's just the EPL, it's insane. Because I would say, cast your mind back to where were you in July before the season started. If you chose Liverpool to win, you know what? I raised my hands. You were amazing. All the Liverpool fans in my life had Liverpool third.
Exactly.
Okay? everyone had City winning, Arsenal second, Liverpool third. I had Arsenal 1, City second, Liverpool third. So, and the reason we're here, the coach has been good, but I think it's Mo Salah. I think it's the health of Mo Salah. The fact that he's been there every game and he's performed at such a high level. You can look, anyone who doesn't believe me, just go watch that first goal today. Go watch that first goal today.
Yeah.
The guy's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when it was slightly off form, the whole team crumbled.
Yeah, that's it.
When it was slightly off form,
no one picked up the slack. No one picked up the slack.
No one stood up. No one picked up the slack. Okay, let's move on.
You want to talk about a chasing pack? No, let's just go down the list. Arsenal is number 2.
We should just go down the list.
Let's go down.
We spent like 40 minutes on the Arsenal, so let's just leave Arsenal out of it. It is what it is.
City.
The injuries, the crazy. Let's also leave Serie out of it. City.
I know where you're going. I'm trying to save you from yourself. But you refuse to be saved. Fine. We can talk about United. That's what you really, and that's not a chasing pack. That's just United.
Yes. Okay. So okay. Apologies. Sorry for calling them chasing pack, but you get my point.
I mean, they're chasing something.
It's been confirmed that 5 teams will make the Champions League from England, right? And as it stands on the table, Newcastle are now 4th because they beat United today. So all your hopes of getting Isak, both Liverpool and Arsenal, just say bye-bye to it if the season
I don't think
this
Arsenal...
way.
I never thought Arsenal was getting Isak, but go on.
No, but everybody put in a word. Everyone was interested, right?
Yeah.
So United, when Onana was picked up, Akin, what did I say? If you remember vividly.
Yeah, you didn't want him for Arsenal.
No, I didn't want him for Arsenal, and I also didn't want him for United because I said Onana is just a black worse version of David De Gea. That's exactly what I said. He's a decent goalkeeper with a lot of errors in him. Yeah? But
I think the hair his errors didn't come in until later. De Gea in his heydays. Yeah, go on.
Akin, even the errors from De Gea, you can look at him and say, you've saved us multiple times. Right?
Yes.
This error, okay, fine. You understand? Onana has not done nothing for United except give the opponents goals on a platter of gold, right?
And be ridiculous on penalties. It's crazy.
And you go on Thursday, the Thursday game against Lyon, you go into, a battle of words with, what's his name? Matic, that was their former player, saying Lyon is not a team, they're not a decent team, they're not this, that. And Matic responded and said, you are probably the worst goalkeeper United has ever had. And Matic ain't lying.
In modern history. He made that
claim. In modern history.
So you can, if you read the, I posted that IG, right? If you read the comments, people said this man spent enough time with Jose Mourinho, and it's just methodically taking down Onana. Just methodically taking him down.
So for all the United fans and Chelsea fans, let me quickly finish United. I'll cross back to Chelsea. For all the United fans that sit there and mock Arsenal, right? And the rest of the people above them, when we all started this season, everybody had the hopes of winning the league. Now, all of a sudden, you are languishing in 14th, right? Everton, Crystal Palace, Brentford are ahead of you, and you all still have the mouth to say something. I think it's an embarrassment. And when I see United fans talking right now, I look at them and I'm like, I'm sorry. Yeah, you guys are so deep. The way your team will come out of this hole that you've dug yourself in is not a 1-season thing. It's not a 2-season thing. It's not a 3-season thing. And I hope you guys have the patience to give your very good coach Amorim is a good coach. I hope you all have the patience to give him the time that he needs and the resources that he needs, because things are not looking good for you guys. That's one, right? You want to respond to that before I go over to Chelsea, or I should just go ahead?
I do. We must talk about United. If you give me 1 second, I wanna read something to you. So Yinka, Sir Alex Ferguson was manager of United for 21 seasons. Played 810 league matches. 810. He's been retired for 12 seasons. They've played 450 league matches. In his 810 in 21 seasons, he won 13 titles. I don't have to tell you that in the 12 since, they've won 0, but you know that. But in the 21 seasons and 810 matches, they had 114 losses. Wow. Today was their 115th in 12 seasons and 450 matches. Their house is on fire. Okay. The shame of it all is they keep talking about whatever trophy they won or whatever. And I'm like, you should throw all those trophies in your house that is on fire, let it all burn. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're not competitive in your league, who you help? You haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So here is what I saw today. Every United fan should be ashamed of themselves. I joked that they sold that game so Man City would not make the Champions League. You know,
shame on them.
Because I don't know what else they were doing. Mazraoui, who has otherwise not looked terrible today.
Maybe you should go back to Ramadan because he looked fantastic while he was fasting. Sorry. He looked while he was fasting. It looked a shadow of himself today. Terrible
They changed the goalkeeper, but it's not about a goalkeeper. I'm sorry.
I hear you, but it's part of the problem, right? Onana is unserious, is indisciplined. You need to put your money where your mouth is, or you don't have money. What are you now running your mouth for? Yeah. And to caveat what you said, I don't think every United fan should be ashamed of themselves, right? I think it's the United fans, right, that don't realize that they are in deep trouble and they're still mocking the people that are doing way better than them. I think those ones are the ones that need to be ashamed. Yeah. So because I know some United fans are like, this is a mess. Yeah. There's a proverb I usually say, but I don't want to say that here, yeah, because people will be crazy and they'll say, "Why am I saying what I?" But you get what I'm saying. You're in a worse situation, a horrible situation compared to the people above you. I rest my case.
So I think we've done this before, Yinka. I'm gonna do it again, right? Yes. Because since we did it, I've changed my mind on their captain. For years, I didn't think he was captain material. I don't know if he's up for a contract or something, but he has played outside of himself this season. It still doesn't run enough for me. It still doesn't put in, the kind of shift you need to put in for me. But he's done more of that since. But he's now also 30 years old. So the question is, what do you do with him? He's by far and away your best player. You mentioned that Garnacho has not developed. I agree. I don't care about the goal he scored. Today, he hasn't developed. If you put him on Chelsea today, I think it's interesting that Chelsea will be interested in him. It couldn't start on either wing for Chelsea. It couldn't.
We're going to talk about Chelsea. So,
I know, but he couldn't. Because the one thing, Chelsea may have issues. The one thing they don't have a problem with is talent. And it's talent, in the wing positions. And Garnacho is not going to upgrade them. It's just going to give them more problems, right? And I'm like, why is Kobe Mainoo? Why is he on the bench today? Why is this kid?
He's injured.
Oh, okay.
He's
Because
been
I'm
injured.
like,
He's just recovering.
aren't you trying to develop this kid? Like, but okay, so I get that. Yinka, they're a mess. So I want to talk about Amorim real quick. I talked about him earlier. This guy is still, in my opinion, is still one of the best coaching prospects there is. But here is the problem. He has coached 21 league games. I believe he's in the league. They've won just 6. They've drawn 5. They've lost 10. Right? I don't have the table in front of me, but I think after letting in 4 goals today, it's a -8 goals difference now.
You're close enough. -7.
-7. We were making fun of them last year because they settled nicely into that -1, territory. Now they're -7. I mean, that's what Leicester should be doing. Leicester is like -89 million. But that's what you expect at the beginning of the season. If you're a betting man, you would bet that Leicester will finish with -7. So congratulations, Man United, you're Leicester. This is a disaster, Yinka.
It was disaster. They're 3 points above West Ham, who is 17th.
Yeah.
Wolves on 35, which is 16th. It's just that the relegation battle is almost already decided. If they're closer to relegation than the top of the table.
Yeah.
To the top of the half table itself. Anyway, that's United. Chelsea.
I'll let you take this one.
You mentioned earlier on that, talent. Chelsea have talent. But what did Stephen A say about talent? Or was it Stephen A or NBA 2K? I can't remember who said it first. Hard work, big talent. Hard work beats talent.
So when talent doesn't
does
work
not work hard. Yes.
Yeah, I think it was KD popularized it, but no, some guy that we don't know said it first. But KD has been saying it a lot. Yeah.
So I heard it first in one of the NBA 2K games when I used to play NBA 2K in those days. Anyway, so that's the problem with Chelsea. Talent is not enough. Only talent is not enough. You can't keep stockpiling talent, without looking at the character of the players that you put forward. Yeah? Very important. Because I watched their game today. Ipswich was leading 2-0, right? Not let me say the only, but there were few players on the Chelsea team that really, really wanted to change things. Yeah? And unfortunately, I think it was their right back and their left back. It was Cucurella and Gusto. Cole Palmer looked the shadow of himself. Now, I will repeat this again. Every opportunity I will say it. Everybody looking at Cole Palmer and Foden and say, they are better than Saka. Saka should be benched in the English team because of those two. Where are you all right now? Yeah? Cole Palmer looked disinterested today. Things weren't going for him and his shoulder just dropped and it was... So, Chelsea, with all the money that they've spent, Chelsea might not make the Champions League next season, actually. Chelsea might not make the Champions League next season, right? Which is going to be a disaster for them. A major disaster for them. But I know the financial gymnastics that they've done, they will get a leeway. They already have a leeway out of it. Yeah? they have the way they will sell players to the Saudi guys. But once again, this is not how a football team should run. Right? And you heard it here first. I'm going to say this. I will not be shocked if Cesc Fabregas is Chelsea's coach next season.
I would love that. For him. Okay.
For him.
Yinka,
You heard it here first.
Okay. So I want to do something real quick, Yinka. I want us to get to our question, right? But I don't want us to miss our worthy mention. So can we do our worthy mention really, really quick, fast? And to make it go fast, we'll just let you give us your NBA update. What are you expecting, with the playoffs coming up? And then speak very, very briefly on Luka going back to Dallas, crazy coaching changes, and then your playoff picture. And then maybe I'll just chime in for 30 seconds.
Okay, so Luka went back to Dallas. It was an emotional night for him. They played a video before the game. He was crying. There's no two ways about it. His eyes were red. it kind of told me that this guy, he really, really loved Dallas and he wanted to stay in Dallas. So I think that betrayal, because even if you watch that game, Akin, the whole Dallas, the home team were still supporting him, despite the fact that he was on the opposing team. Yeah?
Yeah.
And he went there and he reminded them of the reason why they shouldn't have traded him. He dropped 45 on them. It was just toying around with the team. Yeah? And I think after that game, I think that is when he became a Laker. Before then, he was still, I think he was still sitting on the fence. So, luckily for Dallas, they're in the play-in. This is me moving forward to the playoff picture. The game's just finished, so this is perfect timing. So we know who is playing who right now. So OKC in the West, OKC the top seed. The play-in will determine who they'll play. They'll play the 8th seed, but we don't know who the 8th seed is yet. Then the 2nd seed is Rockets. Rockets they'll play the 7th seed. We don't know who the 7th seed is yet. That will happen after the play-in. But the teams in the play-in, unfortunately, the Warriors are going into the play-in, Akin. The Warriors will play the Grizzlies.
It's not unfortunate for me. I don't like them. Go on.
Okay. I like Steph. I don't like Warriors. I like Steph. Okay. So Warriors, Grizzlies. That's a tricky one. Then it's Kings and Dallas. Yeah. So Warriors, Grizzlies will play. Whoever wins will play Rockets as the 7th seed. Then whoever loses that game will go and play the winner of the 9th and the 10th. Then the 4th seed is Denver. The 5th seed is Clippers. So it's Denver Clippers playing each other. Then it's Wolves and the Lakers. So Lakers ended up the 3rd seed and the Wolves are the 6th seed. That's the wait for that. That's the West. That's the West. Now moving on to the East is Cleveland first. Cleveland at top. Boston 2nd pick. 3rd pick is Knicks. 3rd is Knicks.
Seed.
Not seed. Sorry, seed. Yeah, not pick. 4th is Pacers. 5th is the Bucks. 6th is Pistons. Surprised about the Pistons. I didn't expect them to do whatever it is they did this season.
Very impressed.
Young squad.
Very impressed.
Very impressed with them. And surprisingly, Miami is 10th seed. Can you imagine?
It's not surprising. They traded their best player. It's not surprising. Okay,
so
go on.
People that believe Jimmy is their best player. Anyway, we'll get back
to that
is. Bulls are the 9th seed, Hawks the 8th seed, and Magic, that is the 7th seed. So that's how the playoff is looking like. The play-in is this week, and the playoff itself starts next weekend. So that's the playoff picture. Now that we're in the playoffs, we are introducing the NBA into our agenda because we have to talk about the playoffs. This is the business end. This is the business end of the season. Why are you doing that, Aki? Are you no longer a basketball fan?
I love, how much I love basketball. They disappoint me as a man. The lack of manliness is really hard for me to take. And anyone can take this however they want to take it. But I love being a man. I'm a man's man. I'm caring, I'm sensitive, I'm compassionate, I'm all that. But I love being a man. And I'm a man's man. And the NBA has become very sensitive. Let me just say that. My daughter watches this. So let me just say it's become very sensitive.
So hold on
to the point. One second. To the point where one of the most accomplished coaches of this generation or any generation who wasn't a great player, this is Steve Kerr. He wasn't a great player, but he played a long time. He played with 2 of the
MJ?
top 10, 15 best players ever. 3 of them. MJ, Pippen,
Scott,
Duncan. Duncan, he played with them. He played with one of the most accomplished coaches. He came out today to say maybe the 82-game season is too long. My jaw hit the floor, my face fell, and I'm like, what is going on? Why are we doing this? You want to keep making more and more. You make more money than any other team sports in the world. On average. And Yinka, it's not even close. It's not even close. The EPL money is like hockey money in America. If the EPL was in America, the EPL would be number 5 in average salary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
NBA, the NBA, they make like it's like rock star money for everybody.
Yeah.
And you're complaining about how much you're playing? It's so crazy to me. Right? So I find the NBA disgusting to watch right now. And since I record every Knicks game, and if I can't catch it live, I'll watch it while I'm working at night. I work late every night. But for me, since Cats, Carl Anthony, whatever, what's the T stand? Thompson, doesn't matter. Carl, since he joined my team, it's been hard for me to watch because he embodies the disgustingness of the NBA that I don't like. Everything is a complaint. Everything, like, I don't care about your talent. Work hard, be a man, show up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, Brunson embodies that. That makes me ashamed to be a Knicks fan. It's Yinka. I think what's more likely to happen right now is these Pistons will beat us because they will beat us to every loose ball, right? They have no ego. They have no real super. Cade is a superstar in the making.
Cade is
a superstar in the making. It will be all NBA this season.
What's his name? Duran, or what's his name?
No, Duran was on my fantasy team, right? Cade will be all NBA this season, and if it's not this season, is a shoo-in for next season.
Yeah,
Yinka, I'm really worried. Carl Anthony, everything it touches turns into soft. You know what? So anyway,
and you're telling me you shouldn't bring the NBA. I want to see you suffer. So I want to hear this. I want to hear this every week.
It's just so, and it's time for LeBron to be gone. It's time for him to be gone. He brought all this softness. The flopping.
You know what? You know what we're gonna do, right?
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna put an NBA diagnostic question into next week's whatever, because I have a look. You saw this LeBron shirtless that Isaiah Thomas was complaining about, right? I think we need to talk about this.
Yeah, we should.
Isaiah's right. So we'll dedicate like 10-15 minutes to this. Let's move on to
next season. Okay.
I've been waiting for this. Final question of the day. Yeah,
I've been waiting for this. Yinka,
you go
to
first,
celebrate. I that's fine. To celebrate the greatest Champions League match of all time.
Okay.
The two greatest free kicks that the Lord ever created. To celebrate all that, we've come. Who came up with this question? Was it you or was it a listener?
It's me.
It's you. Thank you, Yinka. This is why I love you. This is why I love you. You know just what I needed. I thank you. And the question is, Yinka, who are the top 5 free kick takers of all time? And Yinka, I'm glad you asked. Let me go to my trusty notes. Oh, have I been waiting for this? So you wanted to sit on the fence again and say, you don't have to put it in the order. Why would I not put it in the order? I will put it in the order.
Okay, go ahead, put it in the order.
And I will even give you extra 5. Okay, maybe extra 3.
Bubbling unders.
Yeah, maybe after, maybe extra 3. Okay.
Yeah, let's start. Number 5.
I think Juninho is my number 1.
Why do you start with number 1? Why not go with number 5?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Number 5 for me, Cristiano Ronaldo. Number 5. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Really?
It's my 5 now. You can do your own 5.
Yeah,
it's my 5. So, okay, maybe I should have started with my criteria. So, when we talk about goals, not free kicks, just goals, you can be a great scorer and or a scorer of great goals.
Yes.
Right? You can be a great goal scorer and or a scorer of great goals. Right?
Okay.
Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi are both. They are great goal scorers. Right? You give them a couple chances, they will hit it. They're also scorers of great goals. They score in volume and they score in quality. right? So bring that to free
top five.
kicks.
This one
Let me finish now. Let me finish.
Okay, finish.
Bring it to free kicks, right?
Yes.
I'm not talking of some random guy that did it one time. I'm talking of someone I can trust to do it one every 10, maybe even one every 15, right? And make it great when they do it. So that's my thing.
Yes.
So my number
so
5 is
Ronaldo, number 5.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
My number 4 is Roberto Carlos. My number 3 is Leo Messi. My number 2, let me finish now. My number 2 is David Beckham. And my number 1 is Juninho Pernambucano. I can never say his name right. But you know the Juninho I'm talking about, the one that played for Lyon and Vasco da Gama.
I am completely shocked with your
good.
list.
It's good that I can still shock you after 30 years.
So let me get Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Leo Messi, David Beckham, and Juninho.
Did you start watching football 5 years ago? Come on now.
But I have the worthy mentions now. I have the worthy mentions.
Okay, give me your worthy mentions then. Let me see who's on your worthy mentions.
This was the hardest one for me, Ronaldinho. To not include Ronaldinho was the hardest one for me. You know, Zico would make it. Going back to the 70s. I know now. I know. Zico would make it.
Okay. Zico.
And then my third one is Pirlo.
Okay. I'm about to school you on football and free kicks. Okay. So my list is simple, right? So it's not just like you said, it's the quality and the variation of the free kicks. If you get what I mean.
Okay. So for you, it's not the quantity. It's not the quantity. How many times did they score?
The quantity also matters, right? Okay. But it's also how the different types of free kicks you can play. So number 5 for me is the goalkeeping goat of free kicks. There's a Brazilian called Rogério Ceni. Ceni.
Okay.
Rogério Ceni scored almost 60 free kicks as a goalkeeper. That's not his primary job. He's a goalkeeper. And he scored that many free kicks. Left-legged, bend, strike the ball. Fantastic free kick taker. You guys can go check YouTube for some of this stuff. But Rogério Ceni, that's number 5 for me. Number 4 is Zico. Zico was everybody. Zico was my introduction to free kick. Yeah. Right? It's when you look at so people can play free kick like this and stuff. That was Zico. So I'm surprised you put Zico bubbling on and you put Ronaldo, Messi on the list and you left Zico out of it. Are you this young man? Number 4.
Give us your list.
Ronald Koeman. Ronald Koeman is the greatest free kicks. Ronald Koeman is oh God. I think you don't have Koeman on your list.
Because to be okay, that one I can answer for you.
Why?
I didn't like it. Didn't look beautiful to me when I watched it. I watched it. We all watched it. It didn't. It's like, you know, on my double, you know what I mean? More than anything. But go on. You can give us your list.
It's variation. It is variation. Long,
give short, your list.
I am shocked. Number 1 and 2 is 1A, 1B for me. Yeah?
Okay.
So I agree with you. Juninho Pernambucano is 1A, 1B for me. Yeah?
Okay. So we have the same number 1. Okay.
So I have to give it was my number 2. But I can switch 1 and 2. Right? And it's because this guy has the craziest kind of free
It's ridiculous.
Knuckleball, free kick, he could do it all. But for me, I think the greatest free kick taker of all time is Sinisa Mihajlovic.
No, because I had 5 honorable mentions. I only gave you the top 3. The other 2 would have been Mihajlovic and then Nakamura. Nakamura, the Japanese guy from Celtic.
Is on my bubbling on the list.
Yeah.
Sinisa Mihajlovic for me is the great. Sinisa's free kicks were like penalties. Sinisa, long shot, small one, curve ball, trivela, finesse shot. Sinisa scored a hat-trick of free kicks as a defender.
Yeah, in SerieA.
The only other person that did that, the only other person that did that is Rivaldo, that I can think of. And Rivaldo is on my bubbling on that list also.
Okay,
but Sinisa for me is clearly, well, maybe not clearly, but 1A, 1B with Juninho. I prefer Sinisa.
Because Yinka, you're thinking about technique. I'm thinking of, longevity is part of this. And I like that you started.
You want to talk about numbers, the highest scoring, the player that scored the highest number of free kicks is Sinisa.
Okay, keep going.
It's not Cristiano Ronaldo. It's Sinisa. Oh, you really messed me up on this one. Anyway, that's my top five.
So okay, so our top five includes so we have 2 out of 5.
No, you only have 1. It's only Juninho.
You don't have Roberto Carlos on yours.
I don't have Roberto Carlos on mine because Roberto Carlos only scored. Roberto Carlos scores one spectacular free kick in like weeks. I'm telling you, somebody that is almost. Come on, man, Aki.
Give me your bubbling unders. Give me your bubbling unders. Give me all 5.
So my bubbling unders are Nakamura, like you said.
Okay.
Bubbling under. Yeah. Rivaldo, bubbling under.
I don't have him on my bubbling under. Okay. Go on.
You have to have Rivaldo.
I respect it, but I don't have it.
You don't have it. Okay. I almost took this guy off the list, but I'll put him there. Right? Dennis Beckham.
Who?
Sorry, David Beckham. Sorry.
Is obviously in my top 5. Yeah.
David. Then where did I put? Who are the other people on my list?
Ronaldinho? No Ronaldinho.
I only have 3 bubbling under actually.
Okay, I had 5.
I don't think I have 5 bubbling under. I have 3.
I have 5.
Right? Messi is not on my list. Ronaldo is not on my list. Ronaldinho, maybe, right? But Akin, technique matters, volume matters. You can't do that. Come on, man. You can't do that. You have a free kick list and you don't have a Coman on it. The only person I saw on this list that I feel somehow about is Rogerio Ceni. But I had to put him because it's odd. You can't have a goalkeeper score that much free kicks and not have it on your top 5. I'm sorry. That's the only.
So, I love that you gave us the numbers for Rogerio, right? Beckham scored over 65 free kicks.
Yes.
Messi also has over 60. So for me, the responsibility that they put on you, it's what everybody knows you for. For Beckham, that's literally what they made a movie about it. And everyone knows what's coming and you still score. Look, obviously, you're telling me to name 5. And we've comfortably now between us named 15. And the ones that you're poo-pooing over have 65, 60 plus. That's crazy. You know what I mean? This is hard.
You don't have 3 people. The top 3 of all time, in my opinion, you don't have it on your list.
But that's in your. I have them as
Juninho. So you have Juninho only, and you had.
I have Juninho now as my number 1. I have Juninho as my number 1.
Okay,
right?
We need to wrap up this episode. But what I'm going to do is we'll get our guy to chop this up, and we'll need people to please give us their own top 5 list of free kick takers of all time and critique our own list too to see whether I'm the one that is ridiculously stupid or Akin is just happening to Akin this
I think 2 people who have watched the game a long time can disagree. And everyone the only person I don't have is Rogerio, right? Because I have you didn't have Pirlo on either of your lists. I have Sinisa Mihajlovic. I have Zico, and I have Nakamura. So I have 3 of your top 5 in my bubbling under.
Coleman. You don't have
Coleman? No, I don't have Coleman. I don't because
you didn't have Sinisa.
I have him as my. I have him in my. No, I have him in my bubbling under. So I have Pirlo, Sinisa Mihajlovic, Ronaldinho, Zico, and Shunsuke Nakamura. So those are my 5 bubbling unders. You didn't even mention Pielo. The man didn't have any backlifts. No backlifts.
But that's the thing. So Hello only scores one kind of free kick.
Okay,
one.
That's fair. That's fair. That's
looking
fair.
at people that can do it all. Trivela, knuckleball, finesse, short distance, long distance. There's variation to this stuff. It's not just knuckleball every time. Knuckle. Nah, no. Come on, man. Okay. You disappointed me on this one. Anyway.
This was fun. All right. So we've gone way too long. So we're just gonna wrap. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Arsenal, for giving me the greatest football day ever, and for helping me to overcome all my many enemies. It's been fun. I've had a great week. I don't know what to tell you, Yinka. I've had a great week.
And I pray you have a better week. Yeah.
Amen and amen. It's just, right. I mean, I'm a long-suffering man. I'm very patient. And now things are looking up for me. I mean, let me pat myself on the back for my long suffering. All the
thanks, people, for sticking with us, for listening. Please, the needful already. Like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, send us questions, and please, this free kick thing that we just did, in the comment section, let's have your top 5, and also critique mine and Akin's list. Akin, was fun doing this. I really enjoyed this episode, and we will see you guys next week. Okay?
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week after the second leg of the quarterfinals. All right. Bye. Bye now.
Yeah.